Wednesday with Fountain Pen News. It's Monday, and I'm filming another video about the Philly Pen Show. So if you're sick of me talking about the Philly Pen Show, you may not like this video. However, it is about my nib grinds that I got done at the show. There were a lot of nibmeisters and other nib professionals at the show. And I chose to make appointments with Gena Salorino of Lamy Studio and Lex because I didn't have anything. I had never had them grind anything specifically for me. So this is all about these pens. And I'm going to do a little commercial for Lamy also. Lamy is a leather goods company in Japan, and they make the most beautiful leather accessories. And my favorite part is that when you squeeze them, they don't squeak. Here's another Lamy thing. I have this crammed full right now with pens, but and it's super dirty and handled and stuff, and I don't care. But anyway, Lamy. So this is where this pen roll comes from, because every time I pull it out, people are like, "What is that?" So this is a pen roll, and it has this little flap. And so here are my grinds that I got done at the show. Pardon me. So I had an appointment with Gena first, and I didn't quite know exactly what I wanted them to do for me, but I showed them the nibs that I had, and I said, "Look, I've got this. What do you think this would turn into? What would work well with what's already there?" Because every nib is different. When you look at, like, this one was a coarse nib. Okay. See if I can get in there. It had the largest blob of tipping I have ever seen on a pen. It was crazy. And so Gena was able to grind this into a perspective grind for me. It's almost bordering on a perspective XL, but I think they do that on a music nib. But anyway, so I'll write with all of these, but I had these 3 done by Gena, and I also maybe sent home with them a Pilot number 10 FA nib to grind it into a Spencerian grind, because they had a Spencerian grind there that was amazing. And you know, I'm a flexy flexer, so I love it. Okay, so let me move these out of the way, and I will talk about each one individually. I'm going to do Gena first because that's how it worked out in the show. I saw Gena first, and then Josh is his name, Lex. Okay, so this is one of the things that Gena did for me. This was a Lamy, it's still a Lamy 2000. It was a double broad, and Gena ground it to their specialty journaler nib, which is kind of a cross between an italic and a stub. So let me see if I can show you this nib. So you can see how it's kind of squared off there. This also had a giant blob of tipping on it, and so it now is just more interesting to me than it was before. And so let me just see. Let me zoom in a little bit for the writing on these, just because it will be better. So this is still a Lamy 2000, and I put an ink in it that it does not love, but it's going to be fine, because I will dump it out and put something else in that's better. Lamy 2000, and it was, come on, dude. It was a double broad, and now it is a journaler. The journaler is a nib that Gena developed and distributes a lot through Esterbrook, and so you may have heard of that, but that usually starts with a medium nib. So this is kind of the same grind, but with a much bigger start. So it has thick downs and thin across. Yeah, this ink is super dry, and on this paper it's like dragging along, but that's okay. Anyway, so Lamy 2000 double broad to journaler. That was one of the pens that Gena ground for me right there that day, and it was so fun to talk to them. They're very personable and just really great. So then this one I just showed, this is the Platinum 3776. This one is in Laurel Green. It was a coarse nib, and now it is Gena's specialty perspective grind, which is a little bit like an Architect. However, it is angle dependent. So if I hold it straight up, I can get very thin lines. Oh, let me just write this down and then I'll show you. Okay, so this is Platinum. That's an N. Num 3776. This paper is so dry. I don't like it. Oh well, it doesn't matter. And it was a coarse, and is now, if anyone can read this writing, good luck to you, because I can't even read it and I'm writing it. I don't like this paper. We're going to switch papers. Switching papers, switching papers. You'd think I would have papers right at my fingertips all the time, and I do. But here's some. This is Nanoseam. This will be fine. This will feel a lot better. That other paper was very textured, and so everything felt like it was dragging along. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. Platinum 3776. Coarse to perspective. And I had tried out someone else's perspective, so I knew that I liked it. So this is an interesting nib because, like I said, if I write very high up, so the angle is high on the paper like this, I can get very, very thin lines, both going, you know, down strokes and side strokes. And then as I bring it down, those strokes, the side strokes get wider as I bring the angle of the pen down to the paper. So then it is thin downs and thick across. So it's just the opposite of the stub that I just showed. So anyway, coarse to perspective, Gena Salorino. I can't wait to get my Spencerian back. Oh, I have one more that I have to talk about. So I had another Platinum 3776 with a soft fine nib, and I just had this thought that I was like, you know, I wonder if there's anything that could be done to make this even more interesting. This one is Chartre Bleu. It's just blue. It's blue. But anyway, soft fine. So if you look at this nib compared to the, oh my gosh, I keep putting them back in here and then taking them out. Okay, it's all in my lap. All right. So if you look at this nib and then this nib, you can kind of see the difference. I mean, you can definitely see the difference in the tipping. But this soft fine kind of points down a little bit, but it's very flexible. It's not flexible. It's soft. It is soft. So anyway, that I asked Gena if they thought that there was anything to do with this that would make it a little bit more interesting. And so I left it with them, and they, when they had an extra moment, they ground this soft fine into like a cursive smooth italic. So it is platinum. I can't write N's today. Platinum, jeepers, criminy. 3776, soft fine to CSI, soft. So it's difficult to explain it without you feeling it, but I can do thin downs and thin across with no pressure. And then as I put just a tiny bit of pressure, I can get a thicker line. So if I do a little blooby bloop here, you can see that there is line variation with this that I can press out just a little bit. And you don't want to go too far because don't call me when you spring your nib. But yeah, so it's just a little bit more interesting than the regular soft fine. So you can see there, that's a really good example of the thick downs and thin across. I didn't use any pressure with those. So that's kind of what it's like. So if you ever wondered, could a soft fine be ground into anything more interesting? Yes, it can, and I have one, and it's exciting. So that is super fun. Then I saw Josh Lax, and he did this first. This is my Kilk Manila Sunset pen, and it had a double broad on it, and Josh turned it into, open please, turned it into a stub, because I did the same thing. I just said, look at this tipping and tell me what you think it would be. You know, these are the grinds of yours that I like, because I dragged them all out in my little notebook. So this is Kilk Manila Sunset. Are there two L's in Manila? You guys, I'm not going to put two L's. No, there's two L's for sure. Sunset. And it was a double broad and is now a stub. And so this one is similar to the first one that I showed. It is thick downs and thin across. So if I do these little guys, I'm not doing any pressure, I'm not doing anything, and you can see that there's some line variation there. So anyway, that is the first pen that Josh did for me. And then the next one was on this Lamy Studio Violet, and it has on it a 14K nib that was fine and is now, I'm not going to put that lid on, it's making it all stained. And now it is kind of a cursive smooth italic. What did I write down here? Yeah, kind of the fine CSI. So this is Lamy. Oh, I love this nib so much. It has a little bounce to it too. These 14K nibs do. And then now to have it ground like this is really, really cool. So this is Lamy Studio, 14K fine to fine CSI. So again, thick downs, thin across, and then I can actually even get a little bit more line variation out of this nib just because I'm careful. So don't go crazy with these, but they are definitely have more line variation than the steel nibs. So those are the grinds that I got done. I had 5 done, and then I sent the Spencerian one home with Gena to grind for me, so I can't wait to get that. And I'm just going to zoom back out so I can say thanks for watching. If you have questions about nib grinds or you want to know more about them, let me know, because I have a number of grinds from many Nibmeisters now, and I am always excited to try out what they've got to offer. So thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day. Found by news. Boop, 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 boop.